Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello. Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Welcome to Live and Uncut with me, Ian Davis, and the maestro that is Mr. Paul Watts. So today we switched it around a bit. So we're on YouTube on Paul Watts Life. If you'd like to join us there. Paul Watts Hair, sorry. Paul Watts Life being Instagram. We'll run streaming live off Paul Watts Hairdressing Facebook page. So if you are watching, then press the share button so we could spread the love a little bit further. Don't do a watch party. Share is better. If you've got any questions you got for us today, it's going to be quite a hot topic because we're preparing to English salons to open on the 4th of July, which is ahead of Scotland and Wales. So there's a lot to talk about, Paul. Yeah. And if you have any comments or questions, put them down below in the comments where we can see them, and we'll answer them as we go along, and we'll give you as much information as we can. We've got our third wheel's going to come on with us, who Paul knows really well, and he's going to introduce him. So it's a change. Paul's introducing today. Yay! It's a change for me doing it. That's why I'm doing the opening. So, Paul, over to you.
You forgot one thing, mate.
Go for it.
The mindful hairdresser.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, my own little YouTube, which I'm still really proud of, is just getting started in this fledgling bits, aided by Paul, who's helped me enormously. Please go to the Mindful Hairdresser, click subscribe, and put some comments, or click the notification button so I can let you know what's coming up. And I am filming quite a bit at the moment, making content ready for you to see it. And I've got some really interesting stuff to share with you there. Paul, over to you. Thank you.
Cool, mate. Right, it's great to be here again. This is potentially we've got something planned for next Friday. We've spoken about already, but today is one of my very good friends who's coming on live. It's his first time live, and this is what Live and Uncut is all about. So that's how this happened, or really organically. Me and Ian work for Joyco, as you know, and we've had to do lives throughout the lockdown. So we had a little bit of a taster with this, and it's just progressed into something which has grown to twice a week. And without further ado, let's get him on. It's my very good friend, Jason Blyth. I'll let him tell you what he does and where he does it and how he does it. So let's bring him on. Hello, mate.
Hello, how you doing?
All good.
Yeah,
Jason,
nice, enjoying that.
That's all I was going to say. If I was introducing you, I'd be bigging you up better than that.
We'll get rid of Paul. We'll turn it into our show.
No, that was good. So, Jason, this is the first time you and I have met.
Yes.
So, because I don't know anything about you, I need to know your history, and I need to tell me a little bit about you. So, just tell me about who you are, how you got there. Give us the deal. Be the long story.
That's why I didn't want to. I wanted to let him tell you, because I know everything that he's doing. So I want him to show the passion that he has for it. So yeah, go ahead, mate.
Yes, cool. Yeah, so I started barbering when I was 19, I think. I was working at TK Maxx, which, funnily enough, actually, Paul worked there as well, with like 5 years before me, maybe.
Yeah.
I only found out we were both working.
I never knew that.
Yeah. I was doing hairdressing while at TK Maxx, and then Jason was at TK Maxx, and then he was doing barbering, but completely different times.
Yeah, it's just like a follow-on. But yeah, I think I booked a ticket to go to Asia, traveling, a bit of backpacking, and I had a year to save up, and I was like, I'm just working at a shop at the minute, which I loved, but unfortunately you can't take that with you when you go away. So I looked into a few courses, and barbering was like top of the list really for me. That's not just because it was a letter B when I was going through courses. It was yeah.
I just got that as a joke then. Okay.
You didn't fancy agriculture then, mate?
Could have been a farmer. But yeah, I spoke to Paul about it, said I was thinking about it because it was a massive change from what I was doing. Never thought about it before. I always loved getting my hair done and was quite passionate about hair in a personal sense, but never in a working sense. So yeah, Paul, I think he pointed me to a few courses that are around the area. I ended up going to Bedford College because that was I think it was at the time, because barbering wasn't as big, It was the only course nearer to me, which is about, I don't know, 30 minutes on the train, that I could get on without any previous hair experience, because all of the other colleges around, they said to do a barbering course, you need experience in hair, which I thought was a little bit silly at the time, because I just wanted to do barbering. But I think that's totally changed now, hasn't it? I think there's barbering courses everywhere, private.
Barbering is literally taken over the industry by storm the past sort of 5 years. And I mean, I've spoken openly about this a lot, that hairdressing, along with sort of, has gone underneath barbering, underneath the makeup industry. I think we're definitely after lockdown, hairdressing's coming back stronger than ever.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think people truly sort of you don't realise what you've got until it's gone, and being able to have your hair cut is a massive thing, isn't it? That people didn't realise. And even didn't realise how much you miss it for us being there as well. Seeing them and cutting their hair is always a big thing. But yeah, I did a year course at Bedford, and as soon as I qualified, that's when I went travelling. I think I flew into Bangkok first, did a few countries for, I think it was 5 or 6 months I was out there, but I took all my clippers and scissors with me, and I was, going like turning up to hostels and trimming guys' hair that I'd never met before. And I wasn't necessarily charging a lot, maybe like £1 or £2 for a haircut, but the hostels used to cost like £3 or £4. So it was sort of stopping me going to the ATM every day, which was good. It's a skill that literally you can take anywhere with, as you know. But yeah, it sort of gave me a bit of pocket money whilst travelling, and then came back, and a year later started a barbershop called Bugsy's, and brought a bit more traditional side of barbering into the area, because there was quite a lot of modern barbershops, and there wasn't anything with that traditional sort of 1920s or 30s style, which was, again, a massive thing at the time, as you both know, with things like Peaky Blinders and things like that. I wanted to bring a little bit of that into the area, which was
ahead of your time, mate. Peaky Blinders is quite new, isn't it? But
yeah, I mean, I think that was like, I think it came out 4 or 5 years ago, but I think it's changed men's hair completely.
Yeah,
massively.
What took you down that direction then, Jason? What interested you about that particular time and space in barbering?
I think that's when, until now, that's when barbering peaked with an actual barbershop. I know for just being a barbershop, I think that maybe the 70s and 80s killed off barbershops with guys getting colour in their hair, guys were growing their hair. Everyone wanted to look like David Bowie. And barbers couldn't handle that. So they either shut down or turned into unisex salons. And I don't think we saw barbershops truly again until maybe 2010, 2011, and since then it's massive.
Male grooming. The male grooming thing has changed massively, hasn't it?
Yeah, huge. There's always been icons like David Beckham, and but I think guys even then were probably still embarrassed to say, I've got a picture of David Beckham in 2005. It didn't really happen. Where now a guy will come in with a photo of anybody and say, I want this, and it's sort of less. It was never taboo, but it definitely isn't taboo anymore, which is great, because we've just got so much more to work with and so much more to create, which I love.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting that you picked a time when you said it was like barbering was real, because barbering back in then, even before that, barbers could perform minor operations and things.
Yeah.
They were taking moles off, and they were doing all sorts of things and stitching people up, and that's where you would go.
Anything from the neck up, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah. It's a crazy time in barbering, and I don't know. I'm not saying you go back to that, but it's kind of, that's when it was at its peak, as you say, and kind of really, I think the fashion of it was when men were men, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And then the sort of 70s and 80s, they became a bit more kind of fluid in their gender. Now they express themselves. And I think now it's almost going to be full circle where men are becoming men again. It's a bit more kind of real, a lot more skin fades. And, you had your kind of the sort of the trendies and all that kind of stuff with the beards and says you do 2 beards, me no beard. And, Yeah, and the fades and all that. I mean, that's made a big difference in the men's market, I think, because now you've got beard oils, you've got all the grooming for beards, you've got beard trimmers, you've even got like a beard pencil, right? You can fill in.
Yeah.
So like for me, who doesn't have a beard, I'm like, that's a huge new thing. I see it on Instagram all the time about those things. And it's been interesting to see how it's growing, because I think a lot of hairdressers believed it was a flash in the pan, that it wouldn't last. And I actually think it's going to evolve and get bigger and bigger. I don't think it's going to go away. And I think it's been a real sort out in the barbershops. And I think that like I get my haircut in the salon, but I have a friend who's a barber, and I'll go to him, and we do Saturday morning. Sometimes I'll go. He'll give me, if I want a skin fade, he'll do a skin fade for me, and I'll cut his hair because he has a big, long, heavy mane of lion's hair. So I give him a haircut because the guys find that a bit of a challenge, and he does mine because my team find skin fades a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, sure.
So we swap it around. So it's a really cool way to do it, I think.
I think touching on that as well, Ian, I think like what we were talking about Afro hair.
Yeah.
I think we're still very slow in reacting to bringing in skin fades into hairdressing vocabulary as such. Yeah. And then the barbering as a core fundamental, teaching them how to long layer, because I mean this is where barbers get offended. It's like us hairdressers, and then we're like, oh no, you go to a barber for a skin fade.
Yeah.
Whoever is keeping on top of their education and their trends and that are going to be well ahead of the game anyway. So like hairdressers who are doing skin fades, and I mean it's interesting to see where some of the biggest barbers at the minute have come from. They've come from Sassoon, they've come from Hob, they've come from all of that. Like Sid Satan. He was Sassoon's in America, wasn't he? And he came over, and yes, I know he does a bit of women's, a little bit, but he's full on men's barber.
Yeah, like Dale Ted as well, Dale Watkins.
Yeah.
Solely barbering now, which is, like you say, the same sort of path and training.
Yeah,
I think that's an important.
Go on, sorry, Jace. Go on.
I say it's an important thing when I said about the barbering really became extinct in the 70s and 80s. That we talk about full circle. It's going to happen again. It's just important now that the barbers that are solely barbers, they don't forget long hair, because then they'll only repeat what happened in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Then they'll have to start shut down, or people will start going to different places that can support long hair. So now I say it's important that we don't forget it, because it'll only come back, and it has. So, and I suppose it's the same for both sides, isn't it?
I think it's really funny because, like you're saying that like my team are really nervous about skin fades and using foils and stuff, and I'm like, I think it's because I've been around a long time. I've always loved short hair. Like I used to cut ladies' hair really short, scissors over combing when I was, down to the skin almost, with a barber's comb, a little thin barber's comb, carrying over all the hairlines, fading them out in the 80s. So I was always interested in that anyway. Then I started using the clipper. I never used the clippers. I always did silver comb. Yeah. It was like sacrilegious to use a clipper. But then, clipper gives you a completely different result, and I get I can understand why I would use it. Now I use it. I don't use it so much on ladies, but mostly on guys. I will maybe start with the ladies and get the bulk away. Then I would just silver comb. What I was going to say is the barber I go to, his barbershop, so give him a shout out. It's called Sleep When You're Dead.
Is this the barber that was on telly?
Yeah. So Miles O'Keefe, his name is, and he was. He's. Do you remember Dirty Sanchez?
Yeah.
Program. So Dirty Sanchez, but Pritchard in that is Welsh guy. So Pritchard owns the salon. He owns the barber shop because he's got about 5 Sleep When You're Deads. He's also like the vegan chef. He's the vegan Iron Man and all this because he's a vegan. But one of the guys, Miles, is from my hometown, incidentally. I used to know his auntie when I was growing up. So I was like, weird how we connected. And he cuts my hair. And I know that I've learned a lot from him and the way he handles the clippers and especially the foiling, like all the neck stuff and all that. Now the fades and blends. I've learned a lot. But he's learned a lot from me in the way I layer. Because I use different layering patterns, and I just say, "Oh, this is just a pattern." And you put the two together, and all of a sudden you've got something that's really quite unique and really special and very technical. Whereas I think a lot of barbers, they kind of can fade, especially a lot of modern barbers can fade, and then it's kind of just pick it up, layer a bit, and then thin it or chop into it, and there's not a lot technical on the top, so that grows out really fast, and it's like not great. This stays fantastic for like 4 weeks. So I think that is the difference. It's like getting that technicality through the layering and the understanding of balance and weight, which hairdressers probably have, but then getting hairdressers to understand how to use a clipper and really be fluid and get the seamless blends that barbers get, that we can't get. So that's the way I would look at it, I suppose, and it is a crossover in both, I think.
Yeah. So let's just jump into a little bit of what's happened recently, and then we'll delve back into trying to encourage youngsters into the industry, because Ian was talking about when you went travelling, Jason, and all you need is a scissor and comb to make money. So we'll revisit that. Yeah. Let's just talk about the 4th of July and the 13th of July. So this is obviously, well, what everybody wants. It's what we've been gearing up for. The guidelines have been really quite vague. The guidelines don't seem as structured as what everybody was getting so anxious about. Everyone was thinking no blow dries, masks on everybody, shields on everybody, disposable everything, and it's come in where we just have to wear a mask and clean, really.
Wash your hands, sing happy birthday, and wear a mask.
Well, shield. Which, I mean, I know, like, we have to just serve water in disposable cups and there's things like that, but fundamentally, nothing has really changed except for us having to wear a face shield as an industry.
Yeah. I think that's, I'm listening to you guys, and Jason, is barbering exactly the same as hairdressing in England, I imagine? Is it with how it's going to open?
I think it's the exact same guidelines. We haven't been given anything separate, as far as I'm aware.
Because you're the 4th and we are the 13th. Well, actually, we don't even know if we're the 13th yet. We're still waiting for confirmation. So the next big announcement in Wales is going to be the 9th of July, and only after the 9th of July will it be confirmed. Now, I think it'll be really, my fingers crossed. I think I'm optimistic about the 13th. I haven't started booking clients, if I'm honest, because I don't want to disappoint anybody, because it's still only going to be, like they said, to be prepared or to be on standby for the potential of opening. Now, down here, a lot of salons have taken that as we're opening.
Yeah.
They're just going for it. And I think that's wrong. I think it's a mistake, because I know it's like, I don't know if you've done, Paul, but like with the loads of salons have put the screens up, they've invested in screens, all this PPE, disposable gowns, disposable towels, all this stuff. And actually in England, if that's good, you don't need any of that.
No.
And so if you spend 1,000, 1,500 quid on that, you just wasted a load of money. And I think that we said all along on our lives, Jason, we were saying, don't do it. Just get your suppliers, get your supply chain ready. Make sure you know that you can get it within the time frame you need, and make a decision once you know. Yeah. But people just went ahead and did it anyway, and they just wasted loads of money to do it. And I think I may have a screen between two basins because I think it might give clients more comfort and more.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
More psychology sort of comfort. That's the only thing I'm doing, and I may put one on my desk. Although, again, we've not been told that's necessary.
We're told that's necessary.
Okay.
We have to have a screen between face-to-face contact, basically.
Okay.
But again, I mean, the screens aren't necessary if you're going to wear a shield. So, But what I find really odd is that clients haven't got to wear masks.
Yeah,
we're going to want them to wear masks because to stop the spread. But when this was all building up to be this big sort of clinical experience we were going to have, I know it's just sort of, oh yeah, go back, just cover your face, go back and get on with it. and Kettering was there. So I don't know. And again, today they're talking about potentially a lockdown happening again because of the beatings yesterday.
Yeah.
And if there's a peak and a spread again, where does it leave everybody?
I mean, I think that's probably why there's other places that, like, you've got Wales opening, saying on about the 13th. They might be just waiting to see how we get on here in England first. But we'll see how we get on, and then we'll open up then.
Yeah, watch the Irish. Let's see how they get on, and then
the Irish go back on the 29th, don't they?
Yeah, Monday.
But they've got a lot more stuff in place. They have to have screens. They have to have masks on everybody. It has to be. It's a lot more than we've been told, or England have been told.
Yeah.
So far, I think it's like a lot of. I don't understand why they're so different. I think once if Ireland goes back and that's what they have, I think everybody should have it.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. It does. How could it be less? How could it be less like contagious in Ireland than in England or Wales or Scotland? It doesn't make any sense.
No.
No. But I was talking to my fiance, who is a doctor, and she's a clinical lead, as people probably know. I've mentioned it before. Is that she was saying that what really happens is when it comes out and they make a call, whoever the government advisor is who reads the data, it depends how risk averse they are. And if they're really risk averse, they'll tell you where everything. But if they think, it's all right, just go with it, take your chances, you don't. So it depends on the individual because they're putting their balls on the line, if you like, So I think that's a really good point. Actually, I just think it's kind of like a massive thing for us. I think that we can understand why we are doing the things we're doing, and I don't think there's, like you were saying, Paul, that you're adding that your clients should wear masks, which is not compulsory. But I think it's a wise thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. Because the thing is, like, okay, we're doing hair and we've got a shield, so we're not going to transmit it. But the salon could have, anything from 2 clients up to 6 clients, depending on how big your salon's going to be at once. And if they're all not wearing a mask, there's 6 chances of somebody being able to catch coronavirus.
Yeah.
So I just really don't understand why they haven't stipulated wear masks, even for the first month. Let's get the first month out of the way and let's see how safe it is. Well, no, we're going to, when we phone all our clients as of Monday, we're going to say, bring your own mask. We have got masks in the salon, but bring your own mask. We just want to people feel as comfortable and as safe as possible. So I just, like Sam says, good to hear you talking things through. I'm not happy about clients not having to wear masks. And I don't think anybody is. I think when it came out, I had some of my team message me, and they said, "What's our stand on masks, Paul?" And I said, "We're gonna make people wear masks because I want everybody to be safe. Because as soon as one person gets it in the salon, the salon's closed down."
Yeah,
it's like the equivalent of being if you were like a taxi driver, you'd say like you'd want people to be wearing seatbelts in the back. And it's the same sort of thing. It's the government shouldn't be saying, "Oh, wear seatbelts if you want." The government are telling you wear seatbelts when you're in a car because we don't want you to hurt yourself. So they shouldn't be saying, "Oh, wear a mask if you want." If you're going into a salon or a barbershop, it should be you wear a mask.
Yeah.
And in that way, at least you can take it. They'll say, "Okay, there's been no spike, there's been no increase. If you feel comfortable, now you can start not wearing masks at your own risk. But we're telling you it's okay now not to do so." Say 4 weeks after opening, but it was just a silly thing not to say don't wear masks. It's
I think you made a great analogy there, Jason, because you said about seatbelts. I remember when seatbelt law came in, and you were you went from I didn't have to wear one to you had to wear one.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to wear a seatbelt, right? So
no.
And loads of people like, "Oh, I don't want to wear a seatbelt." Eventually, it became part of the culture, part of what we did. You just jump in the car, put your seatbelt on, right? And the funny thing is that you don't drive to. I don't drive from Cardiff to London, 150 miles. Get out my car, and because I haven't crashed, think, oh, I shouldn't have worn my seatbelt.
No,
You know, do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's
What a
there,
waste
it's
of time.
safety. What a waste of time putting that on, you know? And it's the same thing with a mask. You know, you just wear it because it's safe, and it's just common sense, and just do yourself a favor, really. You know, that's how I would look at it. So, and it's like, and I would treat it like a seatbelt. You wouldn't just jump in the car. I think, well, I drove to London, didn't need a seatbelt. I'm not going to wear it on the way back. You know, that's just nonsense.
Now you should have the little beepers in the salon seats that just keep beeping until you put your mask on.
Yeah, brilliant. That'd be brilliant.
Talking about that as well, you've just seen like Texas. So we had Sherry on last week, and Sherry was saying about all the marches and that have gone and protests that have gone on in America. And some of their most populated states are now suffering high numbers again. And on Wednesday, I think it was, or Monday, Texas have just stated that masks are now compulsory for everybody to go out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the numbers started to rise again, didn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Here's Gemma who messaged me about the masks. Gemma.
That's a good one. I like that.
But yeah, I mean, what other precautions? Like we've got the temperature guns. We've obviously got the hand sanitizers everywhere. I'm trying to think of everything we've bought. Literally gone over the top, except I haven't wasted money on big screens and partitions and all that sort of thing because, like Ian said, we've spoke about this for weeks now, and I just seen it as people trying to make either people feel scared, anxious, or I know they're going to. I don't say more protective because all it is another hard surface for the virus to live on.
Yeah.
And that was my take on it. Where we're gonna and producing so much plastic, like all of this plastic, where we're trying to move our world away from all this plastic production and all this. And all we've done for the past 3 months is produce the most plastic I've ever seen ever.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was just saying, one of the things I just had a question on a text actually there, and it just said that about like I'm running 2 teams. So and the reason I'm running 2 teams is because with contact tracing, which I think is all Ireland, Scotland, they're all saying they're going to now have this contact tracing. Even if there's not going to run the app is only like an add-on. Before apps, they could do contact tracing very effectively. So with contact tracing, for instance, if one of your team, or more probably one of your clients get sick or they show symptoms and they contact trace back to your salon, that means that whole team that are working have to be isolated for, I think it's 14 days.
Yeah.
And then if it's all of you, that means the whole salon shuts for 14 days. And it's unavoidable. So for people to say, oh, I'm just going to go as normal, same teams, well, good luck with that. Because if somebody traces and they trace you back, you've got no choice. You have to isolate. So it makes no sense to me. But already, you're in Cardiff, people say, oh, it's business as usual. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I just don't get it, because you want to protect your business and protect your staff and protect your team and protect your clients, you know. So I think running 2 teams is the only answer. If I could run 3 teams, I would.
Yeah.
But I think it would be more complicated with shift and rota patterns. But I know running 2 is probably the best way because, like I said, with the contact tracing, if somebody traces that back, like a client, and then it's not even the client in your chair.
Yeah.
If they've been with somebody out in the street somewhere or out in company somewhere, it's traced back to them, and then they trace it back to your salon. It could be 3rd, 4th, 5th person meeting removed.
Yeah.
So the chances are quite high of you actually getting somebody in your chair that can infect a team member potentially, and that whole team. So it's not just the client, it's the friends of that client, it's the friends of the friends of that client. it's that whole pyramid thing, you know.
Yeah,
and
which is why we've got to make them wear a mask. I think they've got to wear a mask, and we've got to be protected to the max. So if my team want to wear shields and masks, 100%.
Yeah, I get that, and I think that's why I think although England haven't said that you should wear masks, I think you take the call, and I think Jason, you've done the same thing. You will wear, you know, you're getting your clients to wear masks as well.
Yeah,
I think even if it's only for the first few weeks, just to see how things go, just to keep your eye on the numbers, on the news, and on you know what's online or what the government statistics are. It gives you a better place to work from, because at the moment, what I don't get is everybody is being reactionary instead of proactive. Even the government, they aren't saying, this is what we're doing, we're going to protect this. It's like with the lockdown, you know, I think once they decided the lockdown, the measures they put in place, especially to protect businesses and jobs, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only thing they got right. I think everything else they've got wrong. They've reacted, they've been slow to react, they've been gambling. And I'm like, why do that? You could have killed this like way early by just making that decision 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
You could have made yeah. You know, like we like Paul and I, we both decided a week before the government to close our salons. Because we weren't told to. It's just like we were given the best advice. This is not working. My team were outraged. And the day we closed was the day they announced that they're going to close on Monday.
Yeah.
But I already given it, and I said it was inevitable. And I just couldn't understand why they were hanging on. It was like, why are you hanging on? You know?
Yeah, because I think pubs closed on the Friday.
Yeah.
And we closed on the Monday. And I thought, well, I don't know how it passed by that we physically touch clients, whereas pubs don't. No. And I always thought we should have been one of the first industries to shut and the last to open.
And like I said, because Lisa, my fiancée, is a medic, and she was working on it at the time. She was the clinical lead in setting up the field hospitals in her clinical area, 3 field hospitals. And she was saying, I can't understand how you're still open. You've got to close. Yeah. So I was having it at home, you know, like it was domestic argument that we're having, you know. And I did close even before I knew I was going to get supported. I just knew we had to do it. But on my hand on my heart, I thought it'd be for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't think it'd be this long. You know, if I'm really honest.
We rescheduled clients for 2 weeks, and they were saying, "Oh, so it'll be 2 weeks, will it?" And we were saying, "We think so. We don't know, but let's rebook it for 2 weeks' time." And now 4 months later, it's like, right.
Because I think I said to my team, "Look, don't worry about it. It's closed now." I know that it was like the 19th of July or something. I said 9th of March. So we closed out. We'll probably be open by about 4th, 5th of April. Don't worry about it. We'll be okay. And then 4th of April, you could see it was like growing. It was going crazy. I said, right, guys, don't worry. We got to about the 18th of, I think about the 18th of May, we should be through it all. And then they start saying, well, what's happening? I was like, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. You know, I don't know what's happening. You know, and so it just went on and went on. But I do actually think we could have avoided lots of it if I had the government, and you know, I'm not criticizing, well, I am criticizing clearly, but I just think they missed the boat, and they continually do that. Like for us to be talking about, look, making your clients wear masks. If they have to wear masks on public transport, which is saying they got you, I think they have to wear masks in salons.
Any indoor environment that isn't with your family, you should have to wear a mask. That's basically it. And with this being avoidable, when they kept on saying, "Oh, we're all right. We're 4 weeks behind Italy. Don't worry." It's like, okay, so let's assess Italy's situation and maybe close. And that was the thought process in, I think, many of us, where we were just thinking. And then they were like, "Don't worry, we're 2 weeks behind Ireland. We're fine." It's like, yeah, but it's dreadful what's happening.
Yeah.
And it was just really reactive. Like that time where they were like, right, we need to close pubs, and then someone had a thought at the weekend. It's like, right, hairdressers and beauty, and it was just all a little bit knee-jerk, is what it felt like. There could have been a real, when they said they've had their sort of plan all the way through, it'd have been nice if it had looked like a plan.
Yeah.
One of those things, Paul, and Jason, perhaps you would say, what are you guys doing about appointment times?
I'm extending every appointment time by 15 minutes.
Yeah, same. It was 30 minutes for a gent's haircut, and it's now 45, just to give the time for cleaning either side. And
what are you doing about costs?
Costs.
Yeah, I've not really decided on that yet. I might keep it down for the first month, and then just put it up if we still need to do it. But it's just that first month we need to decide on yet.
We've put ours up by £3 to £4, and I think people will support it, and we have to. I mean, the amount of money we've had to spend on PPE is a massive hit, and also not taking a penny for up to 4 months is a massive hit. We need to get everything moving. I think, Jason, your gents haven't had a haircut for 4 weeks. The amount of money that they'll have saved.
Yeah.
Look at Ian just sitting there, loving it.
The way I'm looking at it is they're now going to have gone from having a haircut once every 3 weeks to now it's going to be like, well, we do restyles at 45 minutes. So I'm just going to be trying to recommend everybody to book in for a restyle, because that's what's going to be. It's not going to be just taking the ends off. So hopefully just by booking.
Jason, the same person who's been messaging me, she just messaged me again, says to me, no, tell him he's got to put his prices up by about 15% at least. To be honest, yeah. So I think this is the biggest one. Forget PPE, forget safety, it's pricing.
Yeah.
And what happens at pricing? Everybody gets squeaky bum, don't they? So like, I don't know. And that is endemic in our industry. Paul and I have talked about this at the huge length.
Yeah.
We don't recognize the values we bring to society, I don't think, you know. So I'm going to give her a shout out. Her name is Giovanna McCarthy. She's a really good friend of mine. She's the one who's messaging me. So she's like, tell him to price it up. So Giovanna's just messaged, and we speak probably 3 or 4 times a week about it. She's one of my closest friends in Cardiff. She has 2 salons, her and her partner. They're great salons. We didn't train together, but she was an assistant in the salon I started at, like way back when she was like 14, a Saturday girl or something, and we've stayed friends ever since. And they're good people, you know. They really work hard, and they really do graft, you know. That's which I love. And you've got to put your hat off to people who work that hard, right? But we've been talking about this, and we were going to talk to other salons in the area. But actually, my real opinion is that a lot of salons don't get it, or they don't want to share the information.
Yeah.
And I know that Giovanna, I call her G always shares. And I would always share, you know me, Paul, I'm always putting stuff out there anyway. But I actually think that what we've seen is that with this virus, we've looked at, you know, people saying about how many deaths, how much is growing, the daily rate, then, you know, what the government stance is, all these things. Once you take that out of the news and you take that away from it, you take that stuff away, the next topic is hairdressers. When are they opening?
Yeah.
Right? Hairdressers and barbershops, when they open, when can we get our beauty salons, when can we get our beauty treatments done? It is the biggest topic outside directly under debt and money and all the stuff that's happening in the economy to this is people's hairdressing, and that tells us the value we put. So I think this is potentially a fantastic reset for the whole industry. Yeah. And from what me and Paul have been talking about, even in our colleagues in Belgium, Berlin, you know, Italy, they've all increased their prices without no kind of batted an eyelid, because they understand the value.
Some of our friends, haven't they? They've put it up 50%, mate. 50%.
Yeah, not 50%.
Wow. Yeah.
So I remember I was a member of a success coaching group in hairdressers many years ago, and they said about pricing. They said, well, how do you determine your pricing? And they said, basically, how big are your balls? And that's what it comes down to. And it's as brutal as that. It's how big are your balls? What are you willing to go towards? And what are you willing to do? And I think that is true. And I think what happens is that a lot of salons are too scared to charge the going rate.
Yeah.
And because they don't, we look at them and say, "Oh, I can't go too expensive because that's," and they hold you back.
Yeah.
And really, we've got to say, do you know what? I'm going to be my own person. I'm going to be, and this is why I offer this. We do that. We look after clients this way. We have an added service here, or this is how we prepare. We want to attract those customers, not the ones who want to have the bargain basement, £30 cut and finish. Right? And I think you've got to look at it that way and look for the premium customer, you know. And again, the same coaching group would say, look for your clients that drive BMWs and Mercedes, not Ford Focus or VW Golf, because they're all great family cars and stuff like that, videos and Focuses. But actually, you want the client who's aspirational, wants to have a BMW, wants to have a Mercedes, and they can afford that bit more. They want to identify with people who identify with that stuff. And that's the way I've always looked at it. And I'm probably the most expensive hairdresser in Cardiff consistently. There's people in Cardiff say they charge more than me for the first visit. But when it goes to like every visit, mine are probably the most expensive in town. And it's by 20 or 30 pounds more expensive. But try and get an appointment with me for 6 weeks. You know, but it's because I believe in the service I'm doing and what I'm doing and how I've educated my customers. I have the biggest retail in the salon. I have the biggest rebooking. I have the biggest utilization, and I'm the most expensive. And yet my team still look up and say, "Oh, I couldn't charge it. You're charging." Well, if you do it right, it's easy, right? And I'm sorry, it's doable. And I think we've got to look at that. We've got to look about how we value ourselves as a industry and how we value the social aspect of what we provide for our customers. And I think that's really important. So, Jason, if you're going to do anything today, you've got to decide on the end of this chat that you're putting it up by at least 15% of Giovanna sales.
See, normally my most popular service is a cut and finish, which is half an hour, and it's £15.
Yeah.
But what I'm going to be doing, I won't be putting prices up necessarily. I do a restyle option, which I'm going to be pushing people to get because they're going to need it. If they've done a home haircut, they're going to need more time.
Yeah.
If they've not had it cut for a while, they're going to need more time. Because normally a restyle was if they've got hair down to here and they want hair up here. But even if their hair's out here, I'm still going to be pushing restyles, which is £30, because it's sort of, I'm not necessarily changing prices. I'm pushing them to go for the services that they are probably going to need in coming out of this, which does give more time and does cost more as well. But I think the prices are going to stay the same, but I'm just going to be pushing people to have restyles rather than cut and finish.
I mean, similar to what
I can still hear it. I can still hear it in the background. I think £15 for somebody of your caliber is way too cheap. Yeah, massively. So what you're bringing to your customers, and the way I know from what Paul told me about you, and just researching you online and stuff, you're way too cheap.
Do you think?
Yeah, massively. My gents, just for a cut and finish, normal gents, my gents, which could be your gents, it's easy. It's £55.
Wow.
Bosh. Right? And I'm no excuses. And I've got a lot of gents. And so when I speak to Miles, the barber I use, I'm always saying, dude, what are you waiting for? What's the big deal? He does spend 45 minutes. He does do a great job. He does, and normally it's like £18.50 or something. And I just don't get it, dude. It just doesn't comprehend. I
feel like me and Paul have talked about something in the past. Is it imposter syndrome?
Imposter syndrome, yeah.
And I still feel like I suffer with this a lot because I feel like I'm not there and I don't deserve to be charging a little bit more. I feel like, although pricing's always a touchy subject, I feel like I was only barbering a few years ago, and am I this good? Am I that good? And I'm pushing all these thoughts into my own head, and I think that's an imposter syndrome.
Nothing. I can take away that imposter syndrome for you so easily.
Yeah.
I promise you. After we come off here, stay on here for 5 minutes with me.
Okay.
And I will tell you what to do, and you'll do it in about 2 hours. And if you do what I tell you to do,
and James,
James is there. So if you do what I tell you to do, it'll change your life. I promise you.
Okay.
And you won't ever have to worry about the imposter syndrome again. because when it does, you'll go to look at these things I tell you to look at, and you'll see the truth. Because that's all that matters, is the truth.
It does, yeah.
And
I do get it.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, Paul, yeah?
No, I don't. I'm looking forward to hearing it, because I talk about this with you as well, Ian. Like imposter syndrome, when we were in the taxi, our taxi journeys.
You introduced me to it.
Yeah. And imposter syndrome is something that, everyone suffers with if they're in a position of, I don't know. If you're an imposter, take that. But where we're looking at with our industry as well, Jason, is like you're saying with restyles. Yes, most things are going to be restyled. Most things are going to be restyled for us, and we've even had client messages saying, "Oh, I don't want to be brown anymore. I want to be blonde." So there's a lot of work that's going to need to be done. But roots for us aren't going to be roots anymore. Yeah, because roots are anything up to an inch, basically, and then past that is a full head colour application. And one of the biggest things that some people don't understand, and some hairdressers don't understand as well, is that you have to do a process called virgin application. And it's a completely different process in colouring hair to make sure you get the best result. And what Ian said about those salons that hold you back a little bit by charging that bit less, their overheads might not be as high, their staff bill might not be as high, but then their education that they invest in might not be there. Whereas we invest in education every single month, and we invest in everything to try and keep everybody.
Because where hair's concerned, I don't really believe I have a real imposter syndrome. I used to a long time ago feel like you guys do. My imposter syndrome is doing this.
Yeah.
Which is, you said at the beginning before we came on, Jason, right?
Yeah.
So my imposters are like you. So I can tell you, my hand on my heart, right? Paul will vouch for me. Before we went to lockdown, when me and Paul said to do this, and Paul said, look, this is Paul's idea, let's do it. That he kind of had to twist my arm behind my back and say, come on.
Virtually.
Yeah. There was no contact. He basically like, you've got to do it. Come on, just man up and do it, right? So, and to be honest, it's been like a real revelation. I really enjoyed it, and I think I've grown. Not only of that, is that there's opened doors to me, which I always thought were closed. I've had more interest from outside sources as well. It's given me more opportunities, and all of a sudden, have you ever seen the movie Yes Man?
Yeah.
So no. This is like, have a look at it with Jim Carrey. It's called Yes Man. It's really hysterical.
Oh no, yeah, I've read the book.
Okay, so Yes Man is that, it's based on that type of thing. So by saying yes, opportunities come, and so this has made me realize that I'd lost my kind of mojo of saying yes to things, and now the more things I say yes to, the opportunities come. And what's the worst thing that's happened? You don't like it, and you change direction. At least you've experienced it. Yeah. And now I always say, like with my fiance or whatever, when we talk about things, she says, "Oh, what do you think about doing this?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Even if I feel like, I'm not uncertain about things, going somewhere new or trying something new, I will go, "Oh, I'm not sure." But I'll go, "Well, I can't really make a decision on it if I've never tried it. How can I be?" Have you heard of Wim Hof, the Iceman? Oh, right. I've just downloaded this app called the Wim Hof. He's the Iceman. It's incredible. Got to get it. Wim Hof. It's called the Wim Hof method. It's about taking cold showers every day.
I've heard about this.
Breath work is amazing. It is amazing. You've got to try it, right? But I was like, I don't want to do that shit. No, sure. But actually, I said, well, I'm judging that, and I haven't even tried it.
Yeah.
You've got to try it. And if you don't like it, fine. You don't do it again. But now I'm like, this is great, actually. This Wim Hof thing, it's changed everything. So the imposter syndrome is this, where I can't quantify it. I can't measure it. Yeah. In our jobs, we can measure it. And if I tell you the measures to take, you will see it on a piece of paper, your value. And it's so simple and it's so effective, and you will realize where you are in your own career path, not comparing with anybody else's, not looking at anybody else's pricing, purely your own. Yeah. And it will change the way you look at your business. It'll change the way that you look at your own value and worth. And it will, honestly, I promise you, will change everything.
I think that what you just said there, Ian, is something that I learned very early on about not looking at anybody else's business, because I ain't got time. Like, people always say to me, "Oh, do you know that salon up the road?" Or, "Do you know what?" I'm like, I haven't got a clue who owns it. I haven't got a clue who they are or anything like that. I'm solely like, my business is my baby, and that is it. That's all I want to know. I know, like, where I do look wider is past where we are. I look at the different. So when we're right, you want to be an artist, you want to be an educator, you want to work around the world. That's where I'm looking differently. I'm not using my energy up to look at what's surrounding us and my team. Me and my team, I want them to get the very best, and I think we have to look further afield than locally to get that.
And how many times, Jason, do you look on Instagram, on Facebook, you see somebody doing something, and you know it's tosh? You're thinking, that's just shit. I could do better than that.
Yeah.
So you can either sit on your hands and complain and just moan about them and say, "Oh, they do that. Oh, look at that. That's rubbish." And then become critical. And actually, what you're doing then is just your world starts shrinking. Or say, "I can do better than that. So I'm going to go out and do better than that. And I'm going to show that I can. And I'm going to put my balls on the line. And I'm going to, a lot of balls in this one, isn't it? I'm going to put my balls on the line and I'm going to do it." Do you know what I mean? And kind of like, this is what Paul's done. And actually, it's made me like a bit more, it's made me less tolerant to things. You know, like simple things. I just don't tolerate them as much now because I'm like, no, that's bullshit. I'm going to call it out, which I've always had that way about me anyway. Like I'm a bit of a truth monkey. If I think it, I say it, and that's how it comes out. And so, but now I've become like much more like, I'm not putting up with that. But instead of me then criticizing it, I'll go out and do something about it, or I'll say something about it, or I'll call it out, or I'll then demonstrate that that's how that should be done, actually.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how I look at it. And I'm sure that's the action you should take rather than like I used to be. It's like sit back saying, "Oh, I wish I look at them. Oh my God, how much fun have they got to do that? God, they're bloody rubbish. They've only been doing it 2 minutes. They think they know everything, you know."
Yeah.
It sounds really crap. Actually, go and do something about it then. Show people the way it's meant to be done, and then put yourself in that position. And sometimes it's not as easy to do that, but I think you grow so much more from it, you know. And I think, and that's why we share so much. Paul's exactly the same. We're like brothers when it comes to that. We share the same stuff, and we have the same type of passion. And then what we found out is the people we speak to, like Olivia Smalley, you know, Larissa Love, you know, Richard Santiago, all these top artists, you know, David Murray in Europe, Katrina Kelly, all of these guys we work with and we know they're exactly the same. Yeah. They want you to be successful. Yeah. They're not jealous or want to pull you back. They're going, yeah, go for it. They're the ones, they're like your cheerleaders. Yeah. And then you end up being their cheerleader. So, and I think that's the difference is all the people I found are successful cheer other people as well.
Yeah.
They want you to see good, they want you to see good. But the people who aren't quite successful are the ones who pull other people down. Because they're afraid of doing it themselves, I think. And that's the difference, you know? So we've gone off subject a little bit. And I know we've got like 5 minutes left.
Let's talk about
travels with the scissors.
We're going to revisit. So joining the hairdressing industry and barbering industry. So when I told Ian that you were coming on today and that you've travelled Asia and all that with a pair of scissors and clipper and comb, and you've told us a bit, like I really think, I mean, I've struggled to get assistance in the salon apprentices, and the whole hairdressing industry has, and it's something that we, the whole industry is sort of perplexed as to why. It's a great industry. Like talking about where we're at in our careers, there's so much happening, so much fun, and there's so much behind the scenes that we have got that's exciting that we can't say just yet. But
yeah,
stuff that's going on is incredible, and we just want people to understand that it's not just about standing behind a chair. I mean, if you want to, I have all my career for 5 days, and I love it. But there's more to it. If you want to invest your 2 days off in bettering themselves like I do. I use my days off to work for vidIQ, to work when I work for Lee Stafford, all that sort of thing. But I've got an idea where I'll share it with you off air of what I've got to sort of tempt newbies into the industry. And I think
I know what it is. You've already told me. Yeah.
Have I?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's.
I've used it myself already.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. I mean, I'm not saying I won't tell everybody. I'm just saying I'm still working on the idea.
Work in progress.
Yeah, and I just want to finalise it, and then if you want to use it, use it. But yeah, but Jason, tell us about your like travelling. I know you did like pay for hospitals and all that sort of thing, but you're a fan of like the Nomad Barber, and all that sort of thing. So like,
I think it's because it's a skill that doesn't. You're not restricted by borders. Where if you were an electrician or a plumber and you were to go, I want to go work in France, I want to go work in Spain, I want to go work in Thailand. Well, hang on a minute, you haven't learned our electrics, you haven't learned our plumbing. Yeah. Where hair is so universal that nobody's going to tell you, hang on a minute, you don't know how to cut hair in Vietnam. Yeah, and it's like that's what's so brilliant about it. So that for me, it was just like it's just opened the door to the world, really, not just the door to a barbershop of standing behind a chair, which I do love.
Yeah.
But you're meeting people, you get your regulars and you meet them. You meet a few new people that come in. Once you're established, that happens less and less because you've got your core regulars. But then when you open the door to the world and you go out and see other people's regulars and other people's ways of life and people cutting hair on the street and the skills don't differ that much. It's sort of barbering and hair is, I think I always read somewhere, it's simplicity done perfectly, and it defines it quite nice. That it is a simple skill that, when done perfectly, is beautiful, and that's when you see a guy who's learned on the street in Vietnam and he stood under a tree with an extension lead coming from God knows where, and you see him doing the same thing you do, and you think, well, literally, we are exactly the same, just stand in a different spot on the world, which that's why I loved it. And I'm going to want to carry on doing bits like that in the future as well. And it's good for clients. It's good for clients to see me doing that. And I think it gives me more stories to tell when I'm back behind the chair, which I love.
Did you follow Mark Bustos?
I don't know.
Mark Bustos he is like the traveling hairdresser. He cuts homeless people's hair. He goes out on the streets. He travels to these far out destinations where there's like no water, no electricity, and he'll find a dude and he'll just transform that dude into something, you know.
Yeah.
Mark Bustos, I met him in Punta Cana 2 years ago. Incredible person, like the most generous human being, you know, just incredible. And his stories were like such moving stories about how he connected with people and the effect it had when he was helping those people. And like actually, the how I met the barbers, what I was talking about earlier, was that in Cardiff we have a charity set up by one of the ex-Cardiff Devils ice hockey players, a guy called Jeff Smith, and it's called the Big Moose Company. Fantastic philosophy. It's a non-profit making charity. They take nothing out of it. Incredible people. Him and his family run this. His daughters, his wife, they're all behind it. And they were helping. They had an outreach thing for the homeless. And I used to go cut hair for the homeless for them once a month with one of the barbers from Sleep When You're Dead. And that's how I met them. And I tell you what, that left a massive mark on me, meeting these people who I thought were like drug addicts, drunk people and all this. And when you sit there and they tell you this story, you realize how judgmental you can be with people who just have hit a run of bad luck and they had nothing to fall back on. If something happens to me, I got my mum, dad, my aunties, uncles to fall back on. Some of these people got none of that.
Yeah.
And when they fall off the wagon, they fall off the rails, there's nothing to catch them. And like you and I and people like us, we're lucky to have safety nets. They have no safety nets. You know? So, go on, the question.
Yeah, question. When hairdressers reopen, will there be a maximum amount of time you can be in there? If you want highlights and a blow dry, can you have both or just one? So, no, when it comes to that, I mean, I thought we spoke at the beginning about this. I thought there was going to be major overhaul with our scheduling. But to be honest, we can still work back to back as long as it's safe, as long as there's not too many clients at the same time.
1 meter, Paul, isn't it? 1 meter rule there?
1 meter rule, yeah. So if you've got big salons, then absolutely fine. You can have your highlights, you can have your blow dries. The only thing I think salons will do potentially is with a highlight service is potentially move you from a full head to a half head, but just for timing reasons. I think that might be something that you'll notice across the industry. It's something I'm definitely contemplating.
Yeah, we are too, because I think it's been such a long time. You just want to get people up and running.
Yeah.
And get them ready for the next, and you start the journey. And I think we are looking at booking probably up until Christmas now.
Yeah.
When we go back, we want to plan our clients' Christmas appointments, get them ready for that, so that they got the journey, so we can restart to get them back to where we left off, because we just can't do it in one hit. It's almost impossible with the techniques we use today, with balayage, ombre, and all the bleeding techniques and all the finger blasting stuff, Paul, right? All of that is kind of
you're a colorist now.
So, all of those. Yeah, thanks, Chris. I think that's the way it is kind of working out. So we just give them interim color, build them up, and then let them go. So, and then rebook them for 4 6 weeks, whatever we need to get them back to where they were before we locked down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is like we start booking Christmas in May, so we're already 2 months behind by the time we get back in there. And a lot of my clients have been saying, "Oh, my point," because I've got people booked up till next January, and they're saying, "Is that all still okay?" Yeah, it's just going to be rejigging because of the extra time we're putting on appointments, that things just might have to be altered slightly. But I just can't wait to get back, start cutting and colouring hair, and
So,
just
sorry.
Carry on.
No, I was going to say, the only thing we've stopped as well, I totally forgot, was we've stopped cutthroat shaves and beard trims, but that's until we know, I forgot to mention that earlier, that we're not going to be doing beard trims or anything like that, just because it's very close contact, face to face, but we've not been told that we're not allowed to stop that. That's just
common sense. Can you do it around the mask? Can you do it?
Yeah, just the neckline. Just tuck it all in.
I think we've done a lot. That's been the really fast hour, that.
Yes, flown by. And talked a hell of a lot.
Yeah. Me especially, again.
Always, mate.
Considering how relaxed I was, I'm always the one that speaks the bloody most.
I've enjoyed it.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's been great. It's been really good to have you on. I know we spoke yesterday about Jason trying to going to start a YouTube channel. So,
yeah, listen, Jace, you got to do it. He's got me doing it. We can be brothers together.
I like it. I mean, this has sort of helped, because I'm not really. It doesn't feel like I'm talking to, I don't know, live. It just feels like it's just a conversation. So yeah, it's good. I like it.
Good. Yeah, you're a natural anyway, so.
I hope so.
He's got the boy band good looks. Okay, I tell you what, if it was a boy band, I'd have to be the bloody manager here, wouldn't I? The reality is terrible.
So, any questions you want to know on salon reopening? We've obviously got a lot of stuff going on, and we've got a lot of stuff planned. So you can DM us, follow us on Instagram. It's scrolling down the bottom. Subscribe to our channels. And just keep active with us. We're going to continue this after lockdown as well, but only on Mondays. This Monday, I'm confirming who it will be.
Could be big.
Could be big.
Why not big?
Yeah.
This is like global big.
Yeah. This we're resurrecting vidIQ. No, we're not. But yeah, we're going to carry on doing this after lockdown. So next Monday and Friday potentially, because I go back to work on the Saturday. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live with Ian in the salon when I'm there getting everything done. So we can have a good I'll show you around my salon. And then when Ian starts on the 13th, I'll do the same with him and he'll show us around his salon.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah. But,
good.
Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah. Happy Friday.
Have a good weekend.
Stay on, Jace. I need to talk to you.
Yes. Stay on. we're going to log off now, guys. Thanks again. We love the support. We love all the interaction. So keep it coming, and we'll see you on Monday.